So this is the losing favourite bot, and it's a small spin on what I've already done before, but this time it's going to place 2 bets. If at half time it identifies that the heavy losing favourite, whether home or away, is losing 1-0. For this example, the max odds of the favourite is set to 1.7 and the traded volume is greater than £20,000. Again, this is totally editable. All of the odds in this example are totally generic, so please do your own research. It's going to place a back bet on over 2.5 and it's also going to lay the dog at half time. It can be changed to be used on any over-unders markets for the 1.5 goals, 3.5 goals. It's totally up to you how you want to set it. And it's also set and forget. Once you set it up, that's it. You can just leave it running in the background. So let's take a quick look at how this bot is put together. It's put together in 3 parts. We have the match odds market. We have the correct score market, which is going to contain the correct score scanner for the 1-0-0-1. And the over 2.5 goals. I mean, you don't have to have 2.5 goals, you can have 1.5 goals, 3.5 goals. It is totally up to you. So the first thing we're going to look at is the first part of the rule, which is for the match odds market. And it's going to identify within 3 minutes to the off if it's a home favourite or if it's an away favourite. Currently the odds are set to sub 1.7 and there must be a minimum volume on the market matched of £20,000. So when a home or away favourite has been identified, a stored value will be set. If it's a home favourite, the home favourite will be set as home fav and the away will be away fav. For this example, what I've gone for is if the home favourite is losing, we will lay the away dog. If the away favourite is losing, we'll lay the home dog. And it's just a simple lay bet at half time. For this to happen, it's got to have picked up the signal from the correct score market, which we'll also have a look at, and the home fav has got to have been triggered, and the same for the away fav. Once the bet goes in, if the home favourite is losing and a dog is laid, then we will get a pop-up on the screen with an alert. This can also be displayed in the watch list if you like, and you can change the audio as well. If you go into the root file for BetAngel into sounds, you can set it to whatever you want, a song of your choice. It's a simple WAV file. For this example, I've just set it as the info sound. So moving on to the second part of the bot, it's the correct score scanner, which you'll see I use quite a lot. I think it's really good the way it's been put together, and it can identify what score it is at any given time. Most of the time I'd like to identify the score at half time because there's no volatility at all in the market. So for this instance we're just looking at 0-1 and 1-0. So if we have a look at the stored values, we can see if it's 0-1 it'll send the stored value out of 0-1, and if it's 1-0 it'll send it out as 1-0. If you decided down the line you wanted to set it for 2-0, this scanner can work for more or less everything. The scanner uses a series of signals, kind of like binary coding. I had to make it so I knew exactly what score it was going to be by the scores that are no longer possible. I had to do this for every scoreline. Obviously when you get to any other away goal then it's no good, but up until 3-3 or whatever it's quite good. I'll give you a quick look anyway. So if we go to conditions, if we have a look at 1-0, signal for 0-0 for the market is set. That means that score is no longer possible. 0-1 is no longer possible. 0-2 is no longer possible. And signal 1-0 for the market is not set, which means it is possible. If we scroll down to the bottom, we can see that I have set a weight of money condition for each score. To check if the weight of money is over 95%, then it's safe to say that that score is no longer possible. So I've done that for each score, and then I take that into account when assessing what score it's going to be. For example, the score 2-2, 0-0 is set, 1-0 is set, 2-0 is set, 3-0 is set, etc, etc, all the way down until you get to 2-2 is not set. And that's basically it. So it's just looking at the scores that are no longer possible and which ones are possible. So it's basically a long way of a process of elimination. So moving on to bot number 3 of the losing favourite bot. And we're basically going to back the over 2.5 goals market. When you think about the favourite losing 1-0 at half time, they're going to do everything they can to win. So, you know, the chances are that goals are going to be scored. I mean, it's only 1-0, so, you know, there's a big opportunity there. I mean, set this on your own data. I'm not giving you any information data-wise here. I'm just giving you the tools. So, back over 2.5 goals, we have a look at the parameters. It's got to be half time. And the conditions, the home fave has got to be set with a stored value. 0-1 has also got to be set with a stored value, which will indicate that the favourite is now losing. And the back price has got to be over 1.8. Again, this is just cherry picked out the air. I've set these far away from the research that I've done for my personal bot. So please do your own research. And the away is more or less exactly the same. There is an argument to suggest that it's ideal to have league specific bots, and that's why I've named this League X, because you can name this one English Premier League and then another one English Championship, and assign these bots to the particular leagues with the odds relative to that league. So let's go on and take a look at how we'd assign these bots to the markets. Okay, so to add the bots to the markets, the first thing we want to do is going to generate a list of match odds markets. For this example, all I'm going to do is just take the daily matches and assign it to every single match odds markets. Same with the correct score markets and the over 2.5 goals. What you can do if you're using odds specific leagues is you can set yourself up some filters: Premier League, Championship, Serie A, French League 1, Bundesliga, etc. For this example, I'm just going to use it as a generic bot. The first thing we need to do is, if we right click the date, select all match odds markets and add 97 markets, and now we have the match odds losing favourite bot selected, we will apply to all markets. And then we need to do the same process for the correct score markets, but it's slightly different. So if we add all the markets, we will find that it's below the match odds market. So what we need to do is left click on the top match of the correct score markets, scroll all the way down to the bottom, hold the shift key so it selects all the matches from the 2 points, and we go to the correct score scanner and apply the rules to the selected markets. We can do the same with the over 2.5 goals as well. And bearing in mind, we check to see if it's a heavy favourite to start with before the match. I always have a restrict refresh on, so what we need to do is we need to make sure that we give enough time for this to fire. So if we go 300 seconds, which is 5 minutes before, and we want to go to half time, so if we stick 4,000 seconds, that should give us plenty of time to get to the half time period. So we're going to move on now and have a look at some examples from the weekend. And as you can see, we've had a number of matches that have identified that the heavy favourite is losing at half time. The bets have gone in on the over 2.5 goals market and laying the underdog. Just going to throw up flash scores now just to make sure that everything was actually 1-0 and 0-1 at half time. And as you can see, every single match was 1-0 or 0-1 to the underdog at half time. So that is it. You'll find a lot with this bot that you will set it up, minimise the screen, and you may not get any triggers for hours. And even at that point, the odds might not have been matched, the minimum odds that you set for the over 2.5 goals. You can also remove the bet element as well from this bot. So it will only alert you, then you decide whether you want to get involved in the market or not. This version of the bot is ready to download from the BetAngel forum. If you don't currently have BetAngel, head over to the BetAngel website and get yourself a free trial.